Here we are further on the Yale campus tour. This showed us Nathan Hale's statue and President Woolsey's.
Built by a man named James Gamble Rogers, an architect who we'll be hearing quite a bit about on the rest of our tour, because he was responsible for building quite a few buildings here on campus, and also 6 of the 12 residential colleges that we have. See, when he visited Oxford and Cambridge in England, he was completely obsessed with the Druidic Gothic style that he discovered there, and he thought that he wanted to recreate an exact replica of that here in the United States, and thought Yale was the perfect place to do so. And this is a pretty good example of that. This was built in 1917, and it stands at 216 feet tall. If you'll recall correctly, Yale was founded in 1701. This was built in 1917. Do a little math. You have 216 years, 216 feet tall, 1 foot for every year. It was a birthday present from the university to the university. James Gamble Rogers built this tower, and it was the largest, the tallest freestanding stone building in the world at the time of its construction. But that had to change in the 60s, and the reason why that had to change was because after the tower was constructed, he decided it didn't look old enough. It didn't meet his standards, and so he had his team go up to the tops of it and pour buckets of acid down the sides in hopes of corroding the stone and giving the authentic feel of the antiquated that he was so desperately looking to achieve. This was okay until about 50 years later, in 1960, when the structural integrity of the building had been jeopardized so much that it actually started falling apart. So Yale had to go inside and install steel girders on all corners of it. And when they did this, they also decided they would install a set of carillon bells. And the Guild of Carillonneurs, one of our over 400 student organizations here on campus, is responsible for going up into Hartness Tower every day at 12 and 5 p.m. And you can hear the bells being played, everything from Mozart to Chopin to Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and more. It's a nice little soundtrack that serenades you on your walk to class, to home, to lunch, whatever. It's really, really awesome. And again, it's one of the many organizations that students can fall into during their time at Yale. And quite literally, I'm really happy that this is the place where I get to talk to you about student activities and organizations, because during my freshman year, the first week here on campus, I tripped on that curve right there at the High Street gate. And somebody stopped me and said, "Hey, I think you recovered quite gracefully from that. Would you want to audition for my dance company?" And sure enough, I thought, why not? College is about trying new things. So that night I went to the Yale bookstore, bought some athletic clothing because I didn't have any, and thought I'd audition for a dance company. I was in a room full of classically trained ballerinas and dancers, and I had never had any technique classes in my entire life, but to this day I'm still a member of the dance company, and I'm currently their outreach coordinator, which gives me the opportunity to